set a scenario. A number of California Appellate Court decisions have clarified that just because the city calls a development project ministerial does not mean it is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act if said project will have a significant effect on the environment. In 2 minutes, tell us what you will do when the Development Services Department attempts to declare high-rise buildings as ministerial when they will destroy historical buildings. Sherry, we'll go ahead and start with you on that one.
Can I just say I would freak out? And this is really a several-part question, because first you're doing away with environmental review, then you're not considering possibly the community plan or the neighborhood compatibility features of the community plan, and then you're bringing in something that is conceivably completely out of character with the neighborhood without telling anyone about it. So we need to make sure that we have the opportunity to comment on the environmental document. That requires at least a minimal amount of notification. And we need to get our community plans updated, and then get the implementation for the proper zoning instead of continuing with zoning that doesn't really apply to the situation anymore. And in the interim, let's do an overlay zone to protect the community. That's it. I'll take more suggestions, so give me ideas afterwards, please.
I don't think that proposals for high-rise buildings should be classified as ministerial, not only when they affect historic properties, but when they affect the very character of the community. And a perfect example of that is the project formerly known as 301 University, right down here. Now the new proposal has called for not one, but two high-rise buildings ranging from 175 to 193 feet, I think it is. And they want to do that as a ministerial project, and that just boggles the mind. When a project like that is proposed, it absolutely has to be a discretionary project. I held a news conference after that proposal to do it ministerially came to light, and I called for a full public review and process and input and hearings into that proposal, not to mention the full environmental impact analysis on a proposal like that. It would have huge impacts on traffic, the community character, and so forth. And whether it's a good or bad project will be left to decide later, but the public has a right to participate in those studies, and that analysis has to be done. I will, as far as what I will do specifically, I will listen to neighborhood viewpoints about development projects that are coming in, and where there is significant neighborhood concern and the city is attempting to do it as a ministerial process, I will turn to the city attorney's office to discuss what we can look at and how we can implement CEQA and where CEQA might apply so that we can see that we have the environmental analysis done. And in any case, with historic resources, that should always be discretionary.
First of all, I want to emphasize I am not a candidate for the 1st, 3rd, or 7th district because there's some heavy artillery up here, and I want to make sure that no one thinks I'm running against anybody up here. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been such a bone of conflict, for our city attorney, because we, with the 301B, with Rose Canyon, with Sun Road, over and over again, the city attorney's office has found with our environmental lawyers that projects really needed to have a more careful review. Another one is the whole issue with Blackwater in the South Bay, and we issue our legal opinions and it gets ignored. And there's a much deeper institutional problem. We need to do away with development services altogether. Development services is, and I'm not saying that, obviously, that's popular, but the reason for that, Jonathan Friedman has a book out now called Hot, Flat, and Crowded. Thomas, thank you, Thomas Friedman, thank you. And Hot, Flat, and Crowded. And basically what he's saying, and I think what he's saying, and scientists all over the world are saying, is that the whole way in which we do planning in the future has got to be dramatically different than what we've done in the past. And we've got the horse and buggy approach in San Diego. The developers drive the whole process, but there aren't really that many developers anymore. It's like the reader's representative at the UT. I was sad to see the reader's representative leave, and then I realized there's no readers anymore, so it's obvious that we don't need a reader's representative. But my point being is that what I would like to see instead is a new department called Planning and Environmental Protection. And what we need to do there is we need to get our neighborhood Bill of Rights in place. We need to get our planning groups, much more empowered than they are, like they are in Los Angeles. We need to plan for all of the impacts of global warming, all the things about going green. This lady up here has a very ominous sign that says, "Stop, your time is up."
Doesn't say stop.
Oh, man.
No way.
I'll add on a little later.
I can cede my time to the city attorney if you'd like. Okay. Well, I will be quick. This is a very real problem for District 3. As was mentioned, 301 University was a real experience for this community. It continues, and so it makes this very real for the people of the district I want to represent. The question was, what would I do specifically in such an instance? And I would certainly, first thing would be to make sure that the preservation community, including SOHO, was informed of the situation. And I would seek their input from the preservation community as we try and move forward to address this. First off, I'd ask the mayor and his staff to stop the processing of the application until I could get a public hearing scheduled at the Land Use and Housing Committee to hear the specific issue around the project and to question Development Services staff on the designation prior to the approval. I would also request an opinion from the city attorney, and I would work with the mayor's office and city staff to create a new process so this cynical abuse of the system stops. We know this is a pattern, and we can't continue to fight these projects on an ad hoc basis. We need a comprehensive solution to this problem.
And I won't presume to put words in Mr. Gary's mouth, but let me take it a step further. Planning and environmental protection, that would be great. We also, I believe, need to roll CCDC and SEDC and these redevelopment agencies back into the city under the watchful eye of the redevelopment agency. They can hire an executive director, they can have a budgeting person, an auditing person, but these quasi-public, non-profit redevelopment agencies have become slush funds for people who have no oversight. There is very little accountability to the taxpayer, and it is your money being tied up in these redevelopment districts. In the 7th district, we have a beautiful community of small businesses, a bustling community right off Interstate 8 at Mission Gorge Road. Many of you may go to shop there, maybe hit the Home Depot store, Iowa Meat, or any of the small businesses up and down Mission Gorge Road in Grantville. And here's a business community struggling to survive, being told they're blighted, being told that they need to be replaced with not high-rise, but high-density development that will only make problems worse. Traffic problems, congestion problems, pollution, strain on resources worse in that whole area. And I think it's time to rein in these redevelopment agencies. Whether it's Grantville or the Mission Valley Village Mobile Home Park. Recently, Archstone Smith, a subsidiary of Lehman Brothers, bought the property out from under 120 families in an established neighborhood. Their homes are now worth $0, and they're being told that they've got to move and be replaced with 440 apartments. So whether it's in the 3rd district, the 1st, the 7th, I think that it is so vitally important that we change the standard for developing and changing existing neighborhoods and make sure that those standards meet the needs of communities that exist there now.
Thanks, Margie.